Hello. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I think I'm all right.
Yeah.
Would either of you have time for a short interview?
Do we want to be interviewed, Allie?
Depends on what it's for.
It's for Street Epistemology, which is it's a hobby of mine. It's a way of using questions to explore claims that people make because they think that it's true.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
So you're like Socrates.
Kind of like Socrates. Yeah, this is a variation of the Socratic method where I try to set aside my view of your claim, even if I agree with it or disagree with it.
Just to argue the other side.
I don't even want to argue the other side. I want you to explain your position. And by asking questions and encouraging you to keep revealing your stance on it,
You reveal more information about the subject?
for the person that I'm talking to. Yeah. So it ends up becoming a really good exercise for my conversation partner, where we can really explore the claim that you make, whether it's karma is real, or if I see a cardinal, it's a dead relative coming
Karma
by.
is real.
You think karma's real?
I do.
We could talk about karma.
What were we talking about earlier? We were talking about glitches in the Matrix.
Glitches.
We were talking about how we live in the Matrix.
I was just watching watching one of those YouTube videos about that movie, where it was one of those where it went wrong. How did this movie get so messed up? And it was one of those things. But yeah, they showed the example of the cat walking by. Mm-hmm. Actually, I was thinking about doing déjà vu as a topic.
Oh, we just talked about that.
Allie experiences déjà vu a lot.
All the time. It
Okay.
happens to me constantly.
Yeah,
You want to talk about
we
that?
can explore déjà vu.
Okay, let's talk about that.
I'm always a little reluctant when I either accidentally or on purpose mention the topic because I don't want to foist a topic on you.
We were just talking about it, though.
Okay.
Literally 10 minutes ago.
Okay. Can I interview you both? And can I film it? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
And then I can, if you're uncool with it, let me know at the end, and I won't use any of the footage or whatever. And I've got a second. Can I have you stand there and face towards me? And then I'm gonna put a second camera above your head if that's okay. All right. Cool. I appreciate you guys stopping. You were just talking about déjà vu?
Because I was talking about glitches in the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Because are you familiar with Reddit?
Yes.
There's a whole subreddit about it.
Could you hold
And
my board
I
for a second?
read it when I'm bored because it's super interesting. It's just people talking about weird things that happen to them where an object moves or they experience the same thing twice, kind of like some déjà vu events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. That led to us talking about déjà vu.
When I use this approach of street epistemology, when I'm asking questions, one of the very first things is I want to make sure that we're using the right, that I'm understanding the words that you're using. And now that we're talking to two people, your definition of déjà vu might be different than yours. Mm-hmm. So I think it could be, and I appreciate you holding that for me. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
I was just actually getting ready to go. But then I saw you guys come down and I was like, I want to see if they'll do an interview. But
Do you do this a lot?
yeah,
Do you like it?
I love it.
I think it's pretty interesting
it's
to
very
find
interesting.
out other people's ideas. And
Yeah.
The first thing I thought of was Socrates when you were mentioning that.
Yeah, a few people today have mentioned Socrates specifically.
Yeah.
seems to be the theme.
Yeah. So what do we mean by déjà vu exactly? What is déjà vu?
Like experiencing the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Or the
Or
same-
at least when you're
the same-
experiencing something, you feel like you've already done it before.
Yeah. Or not even necessarily experiencing something twice, but the feeling that you have experienced this before.
Yeah.
The feeling that you've experienced something twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether or not you're physically in this situation for a second time, or you just think that you're in the situation for a second time.
Even
Okay.
though you know you haven't been in the situation before. At least to me. I
Yeah.
know I haven't, but it feels like I have.
Okay. So feeling that you've experienced it even though you're sure that you hadn't.
Yes.
Okay. Can I get your first names? My name's Anthony, by the way.
I'm Natalie. That's Allie.
What is it?
She's Allie. I'm Natalie.
How do I spell your first name?
A-L-L-Y.
Yeah.
A-L-L?
Why?
Okay, and did you say Natalie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my name is Anthony, by the way. It's a feeling that you've experienced something twice. Are you on board with her definition of that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Are these simply feelings that we're experiencing? Like we might feel love or hate or worry or anxiety? Or is there something unique about this? Is deja vu different than other feelings?
Emotion,
It's not an
necessarily.
emotion.
It's like a
It's just
like you know,
for example,
when someone's standing behind you and you can feel that.
yeah, it's like intuition.
Yeah.
Almost. It's like if you're sitting eating lunch and you're like, holy shit, I've been doing this exact thing before, except you haven't.
Yeah. Or you walk into a restaurant and you're like, I've been here before. You've never been to.
And it's
you,
like
it
all the
feels
same
familiar.
people-
It feels familiar.
It's like the same people, you've seen them before, but you haven't.
but
Okay.
you know you haven't.
Yeah.
A feeling of familiarity, perhaps? Okay. And I think I understand why you think, I think I understand what you mean by deja vu and why you think it, because you're having experiences. So now I want to try to narrow down, like, do you think that something magical or supernatural is happening to make these things happen? Or are these processes that are happening in our brain because of the way our brains are made up, or some other explanation?
I think it's processes, I don't know, in the brain. Just because, at least when I've experienced it, it's things 100% of the time that
Like
could
you know.
happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that I'm doing that I would naturally just be doing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's supernatural at all.
Okay.
But we were talking about earlier, though, whenever we were talking, this isn't something I necessarily believe, but I think it's like just cool to kind of think about. We were talking about earlier with glitches in the Matrix, was I was talking about how
Nice, yeah.
I had misplaced an item and it was behind all my books in my bookshelf.
Yeah.
And I had cleared out everything and then searched my entire room, and then I turned around and it was a little white thing on top of a black bookshelf, like you couldn't miss it, and it was right there. And so the explanation for that usually is like in a timeline where you moved that they cross paths,
Huh.
and just for momentarily though,
Okay.
and then they move apart from each other.
I
And so that could
see.
be kind of an explanation for deja vu as well, but I don't necessarily believe in that. But I think it's just cool to think about.
Yeah.
Okay. A potential hypothesis to explain deja vu or a misplaced object suddenly appearing could be possible
You meet yourself
ribbons
from
of reality sort of
Yeah.
crossing each other at some point? Or
a different timeline
A
crosses
glitch?
over yours for a second. Yeah.
Like the movie Inception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been a while since I watched that one. Was that the one that goes in reverse?
It's dreams. It's like
No.
different
Oh, that's right.
timelines are
Wait,
Dreams
I
inside
meant to
dreams.
say Interstellar. I'm sorry.
Interstellar. Yeah.
Interstellar.
I was like, Allie, that doesn't really make sense, but I'll go with it.
Interstellar. That's what I meant. Where like
Where
you
he's
know,
touching all the different
He's touching
timelines.
all the. He's touching the bookshelf, but it's her like 20 years ago.
Yeah. It's
Mm.
in all these different times.
But he's
yeah.
like in the 5th dimension,
And
and
he
she's
can,
like in
he
the
can see
3rd.
every single like bit of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
That's
one's
what I
really
meant
cool.
to say. Sorry.
It's an interesting hypothesis, and yet it's not something that I think you say that you think is actually the case.
No, I just think
Okay.
it's cool to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't necessarily believe that there's, like, I don't really believe in parallel universes, but I think it's cool to think about.
Well, I think the next time I experience deja vu, I'll probably be thinking about this conversation. It actually happened the other day, and when I had that feeling of deja vu, I thought this would be a good topic to mention to somebody or to explore with somebody.
We also talked about that. How like, have you ever just like thought about something and then it happens?
Yeah, and then
Like-
somebody brings it up right after.
Or
something
you're
like
thinking
that.
about someone and then
We
they
were
text
literally-
you.
Yeah.
It's just like intuition. Like you just have a
Just thought about
feeling.
We just talked about
In that situation, however, do you think that something is happening between you thinking about it and the phone call or the text message coming through?
I don't know.
Like, is there a relationship between the events, or is it just a quirky thing to happen, or something else?
My friend thinks, like, believes and stuff like that, when, like, you put that kind of energy into the universe, you'll get it back, you know?
I kind of think that's. I remember like crying once in my car about. No, okay, okay. This is like it actually happened though. Like I was crying in my car about a situation between me and this person, and he literally texted me the next day. Like he didn't know I was crying about him. Like he had no clue.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what do you...
So
what-
I definitely agree with that. Like it's like
What you put in, you get back.
the universe just knew. I don't know.
Okay. Do you think that, do you think that that's true? Do you think that the universe is actually taking inputs and giving outputs?
I think To an extent, you get back what you give. Like the kind of energy that you put into things is what you're going to receive back.
You mean like that saying where it's just like you're only gonna get as much as you like put in?
Yeah. I mean, because like the only times things go shitty or like things just go shitty, bad after bad after bad after bad, is when you're having a bad day, you know? When you're just sitting there just like moping around, wallowing in your own sadness, shitty stuff happens to you.
It's like you're already in a bad mood, and then you hit your hip on the counter, and then you're in traffic, and then just the thing happens.
Yeah.
And it just
Whereas even if you're in a good mood, those things aren't going to affect you nearly as much. Like, even if one thing does end up happening to you, that's not going to, like, if I'm in a shitty mood and something bad happens to me, it's going to put me in a worse mood, and then it's just a chain of events,
Regarding the putting out into the universe and getting something back, have you ever attempted to test that hypothesis to see if it's actually working in that manner? Like, could you sit in your car and start getting really emotional about one of Barack Obama's daughters, and then would it be reasonable to expect that she would text you the next day?
Not necessarily, no.
Considering it's Barack Obama's daughter, no.
I think
it depends on the situation.
What would be different from that?
you don't have any connection with her.
Yeah, like...
I think it depends on, if we're talking about believing in, that kind of energy, stuff like that, I have no connection with you.
Like, I know
feel
of
like
her.
it would have to
her on
require
TV,
some sort of...
But, I've never, had any physical contact, never any, what is the thing for internet?
E-contact.
Connection?
E-contact?
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know.
Okay.
But
any internet correspondence.
I think it's...
Putting something out into the universe and then expecting something back is only realistic if it's somebody that you have a connection.
Relationship.
Yeah. I feel like you have to have some sort of connection to it.
Yeah.
Is it possible that there's nothing happening at all and
it's all
Your-
random? Yeah.
your friend happened to text you the next day?
100%. That could be true.
What do you think, Allie?
Well, you see, this has happened to me on more than one occasion, where I've thought about something and I'm upset about something, but then literally the next day it's resolved. And I don't think that's really... I don't know. It's happened to me more than once, which makes me say that, no, it's not a coincidence.
I think they are coincidences, in my humble opinion, just because I don't really tend to believe in much.
So in your view, the whole idea of putting something out into the universe and expecting something back...
I don't believe in that.
You don't believe in it.
My best friend
You think
does,
that they're
though.
coincidences. Well, your friend here, it seems
Yeah,
like,
she
actually...
does also. Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know. I think the world is truly random.
How do you think we could figure out the truth of the matter? Whether you really did put something out into the universe that day and get a text message back the next day, or it was a coincidence or something else? How do you think we can figure out what truly happened in that instance?
I guess I could ask the person that texted me, but there's...
Why they texted you.
Why?
Yeah.
Because we hadn't had contact in a few weeks, which is why I was upset. But he didn't know that. I was upset about any of that. I was just why haven't we been talking?
What answer could they give you that would lead you to think that it was the universe doing it? Thank you.
I don't know, probably just explaining, what brought him to text me right then and there, why not sooner?
What if he said,
I just happened to be
I was on my
upset
lunch?
about it the day before,
Here's what I'm wondering, though. Regardless of what answer he gave you...
How would you know?
Yes.
But it was the universe.
I don't
See,
know.
that's...
I
You
don't
can't,
know.
you can't really answer
And that is often a good answer to give. If we don't know the answer to something, we can hold off on giving it an answer until we have good reason to think that it's the case. And maybe there is a good reason to think that it's the case.
Yeah.
And then again, maybe it's a coincidence or something else.
We're just talking about coincidences.
We were.
That was a great chat.
Thank you.
Let me give you my magnet with the word Street Epistemology on it.
This is very entertaining.
Ooh, she's going right here.
Oh, there you go. And I have...
This isn't magnetic. That's fun.
It is. Oh, your thing isn't.
Yeah.
Oh, I have stickers too, but I don't have them with me.
That's fine.
Do you come to the trail a lot? Maybe we can do a second conversation.
Yeah,
We do.
we're here quite
I'll
a
try to
bit.
bring stickers next time so you can put it on your thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Do you have any questions for me? Do you want to know what I'm doing or what this
Do you
this
do
was all
on
about?
YouTube?
Yes. Sometimes I put the clips on YouTube or take the audio and throw it on a podcast.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We can watch ourselves here.
What did you think about the
Actually,
discussion?
that'd be weird. It was very interesting because I think me and Allie kind of had
We have
differing
We have
viewpoints.
different views,
Mhm.
but it makes me think about
things.
her view as opposed to mine.
Let me ask you this. Let's say Natalie's hypothesis that these are coincidences is flawed, and it really is whatever you put out into the universe, and then you get something back. Like, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
It would be nice to know.
I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah, I'm open to it as well. I'm just wondering how we could actually figure out if that's the case.
Yeah. Kind of where you got us.
Yeah. It's like, what do I just have to like think about something and hope that it would happen? Like,
And
just
what's-
you see me at home for like
Yeah, but
2
how
hours.
would you know? But how would you know if it happened randomly
Yeah.
or not?
Exactly. Even if you were thinking about your best friend calling you and you really thought about it for 2 hours and she called you, would it mean that you thinking about it for 2 hours had anything to do with it?
I mean, I personally would.
Yeah.
You personally would.
Not really. I don't know. I think I tend to think things like that are coincidences when they do happen.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's interesting.
For sure. Do you have any questions for me? Do you want to know where I stand on the issue? Or
Yes.
What do you think about Déjà Vu in the universe?
Oh, Déjà Vu. We kind of got off of Déjà Vu,
Yeah.
didn't
I
we?
know.
Because it was more about like if I put something out, I get something back. It
do
almost
you
kind of
think
turned
of
into
that?
a karma type of thing, or not even karma. It was more like
What goes around comes around.
if I wish it, I'm going to use the word wish. It might not be the word that you use, but if I wish really hard for something, I can expect it to happen.
Yeah.
If you want to know where I stand on that, I don't think that would work because I could probably attempt to reproduce it. And even if I was able to get a result, I don't think I'd have a way to figure out that my wishing had anything to do with the
Yeah.
outcome. And because I probably couldn't verify the mechanics of the situation, I would be less likely to conclude that it was me putting something out.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, that's odd. Like right now I'm thinking of a friend. I'm literally thinking of a friend right now. And I'm getting a little emotional thinking about him because of some past history that I've had with him. Now, if he texted me tomorrow, I would be really baffled because I'd be like, I was just thinking about him. However, how does it work for me thinking about it to
Yeah.
it actually inspiring him to call me or text me the next day? And if I don't have a good way of explaining that, I stay agnostic on it, meaning like I'm undecided
Yeah.
on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I am about like everything.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hi.
That's how I choose to live my life.
Yeah.
Just in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tend to really believe any one side.
Now I am willing to move off of my indecisiveness, I suppose, or my agnosticism when there's good evidence to support it. So if humans did this on a regular basis and we're all reporting to each other like, listen, when I think of this person, they text me the next day, and thousands of humans are reporting this, and we could actually get people into a lab and study it and see what the extremes are too. Like, I'm going to really think about Barack Obama's daughter. And that kind of sounds weird. And then,
But like, what if you saw a news article? You would just be like, wow.
well, what's the limit of it?
Yeah,
Well, that's
true.
yeah. Now, I didn't get a text message, but I happened to see a tweet that one of my friends retweeted something that she did. Well, how would I actually know that that's the case? That would be the dilemma that I'm in. And I would resist calling it the universe listening, or whatever we're calling this, until I actually had a good reason to do so. That's where I would stand. That's a long-winded way of me explaining my position on it.
This is interesting.
It was interesting. I'm glad you stopped to chat about
It
that.
was really nice to meet you.
Yes, very nice to meet you
Thank
too, Natalie. Allie, thank you very much. I hope to see you around.
For sure. We'll definitely be here.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Take it easy.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye. All right. It kind of started off kind of wacky. But did you notice? Let me just make sure that I'm broadcasting audio here. It looks like I am. The philosophist is here. What's going on, Steven? Did you notice the laughs, the giggles kind of died down the more we focused on the actual claim? When it got more specific and clear, they got a little bit more serious about what they were saying and listening. And I think it was really helpful there.
How's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm doing interviews with folks. Do you want to do one? Have we done one?
No.
Oh, okay.